I wanted to take a couple minutes and just describe our first project just verbally. I know sometimes in an online class you read and you read and you read and things may or may not come through as clearly as what you want them to. So our first project is this letter of thanks, right? Writing a thank you letter. Now, sometimes when students hear thank you letter, they may think of like sending those little cards that say thank you on them with like a one sentence reply. It's not that type of thank you. It's more in depth than that, right? You're going to be writing multiple paragraphs. So you're going to have to look closely at why you're saying thanks. And it's very similar to almost like a short essay, except this actually is going to go to someone. So one of the things that I wanted to emphasize as we start this project is, just as with all our projects in this class, whoever you pick as your audience, you are going to give this letter to. All right, so this is real writing. It's not just something you're doing for a grade. Yeah, you're going to give me a copy too for a grade, but this is going to eventually go to whoever you're writing to. All right, so it needs to be a real person, it needs to be someone alive. All right. But some ideas as far as just what you could think about when you're picking your audience. You could think of someone personal, right? Sometimes there are just people in your lives that you want to thank for one reason or another. One of my students in another class had actually said that there was something they felt like they should have thanked someone for that they never did, and they felt like this was an opportunity to maybe express that thanks. So there's lots of ways you can go personally with thank yous, but think about that angle. You can also think about just from a people in your life. So not necessarily family and friends, but maybe people who you've been exposed to at some point. Maybe it's been a coach that you've had if you've played sports that really did something for you. Maybe it was a leader in your community. Maybe if you are religious, maybe it was a pastor that helped you in some way and really guided you. All right, maybe it was a teacher at some point. So there's all these different people that have impacted you, and you want to think through maybe if one of them you want to say thanks, right? You want to take the opportunity to actually thank them for whatever they did. The other group that doesn't always get thought about is just beyond those people that you personally know. Sometimes thinking about individual celebrities that you have looked up to. Maybe there is a sports athlete that plays for some team that has really been a role model, and you want to say thank you for offering that sort of positive image. Maybe there's someone that shared a story via media or online that really impacted you somehow. You could say thank you to them for that. Maybe there's just a group that does some really great things. So, like for instance, maybe there is an animal rescue, or maybe there is a volunteer group that does something that you feel is commendable, that you should want to say thank you for actually taking the initiative and doing something. Those are all options. So there is no limit really on who you can pick, other than it has to be a real person. But really think through that, and you may have to do a little research. If you want to write to someone that you don't personally know, you might have to look online and figure out how you're going to get this to them. Now, I will help with submission. You're going to actually see a whole guidance as far as submission comes next week, so that will be part of the instructions for next week. This week, I just want you to really focus on thinking through who you might want to write to and what you may want to say to them. So the pre-writing instructions will actually be our discussion for this week. So everyone will see kind of what everyone's thinking about, get different ideas, offer guidance to each other. And then next week we will work on actually putting together a draft. And again, that's when I'll send you the details on how we're going to submit this and how we'll actually get it out to people. So that's just something to think about. And again, I just wanted to take a second to introduce this and give you some ideas about all the different ways you can think of this particular project. So find something that's meaningful to you, and we will go from there. So have a wonderful week.